What's going on, you guys? As a disclaimer going into this review, there is going to be a lot of spoilers in both the game footage that is shown and the contents of the review. If you have not played Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, I suggest you do so or watch a playthrough. If you guys don't mind spoilers at all, then enjoy the video. Raven's world is an absolute. Nothing can change, nothing can waver in the world of an augmented human. Armored Core 6 is one of those games that questions humanity and subtly reminds the player that there is a choice in everything they do. From Software likes to keep their games very open-ended, and while the stories may be linear in how they are played, the approach of the story is anything but. From the mechanics to making different builds to the boss battles, this game was an absolute joy to go through. Armored Core 6 was the kind of fun that was reminiscent of when I was a kid, staying up until 2 a.m. playing video games until my mom would say, unless you want to become the zombies you fight, I suggest you get some sleep. Armored Core 6 created core memories with its impactful dialogue and meaningful story. What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to the channel. In today's review, I'm going to be diving into Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. I don't give numbered scores to my reviews anymore. I feel like the contents of my review should speak for themselves instead of me giving a numbered score. If I were, though, to give a score for this game, 10 out of 10. Like, it just absolutely a 10 out of 10. It's been fan-fucking-tastic. That's where I'm at mentally with this review right now, because when I was going through and I was writing this up, I thought, I'm not thinking of any negatives. Like, there has to be at least one thing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's just so good. This game, in the mechanics and the story and the way that it's built, the way that it's played, it is so freaking good. The only thing I have yet to experience in this game is the co-op. The co-op is supposed to be fantastic. I've seen a lot of people really enjoying that, so I can't wait to dive into the co-op. Going through the game, there is one thing that kept popping up, and that was the concept of coral. Coral is an energy source on Rubicon 3 that is supposed to advance technology and communications capabilities. As a mercenary in the game, we're fighting amidst the war for control over coral. I find the theme of coral really fascinating since it hints and suggests at the fact that there is also a collective consciousness as well. Air kept saying that the coral is her, that it's her brothers and her sisters, which means that this is an energy source that's sentient. At one point, I'm fighting other mercenaries, and at another point, I'm seeing this beautiful story being told, slowly unfolding before me. The coral, at least the way I see it, is this consciousness of a previous existence that's being utilized for energy, machinery, and technology. I got to the ending that I picked, which was fighting against air. I saw so much narrative and build-up that I don't see in a lot of games. It was slow. It was powerfully built, and it let the players take their time. Even Handler Walter is so unique in the way his character is approached. By the end of the game, he wants the player character to find their freedom, which makes me think that Air was just being manipulative to get what she wanted. The boss fight with Air was one of the best moments in the game, besides meeting the mech whose identity we stole. From Software never misses with their boss battles, and each boss I fought, I saw a new side of From Software's narrative design that I fell in love with. We all know that in Souls games you need to search because the story isn't just handed to you. The same goes for Armored Core 6. While this game isn't a Souls or Souls-like, little bits and pieces of the Souls franchise found its way into this title. Like the philosophical questions asked when confronted with the concept of coral, humanity, and how augmented humans are even human anymore, as well as the concept of freedom. Freedom is a really big one in this game. I like how the story was vague at a lot of points, but was linear in terms of the delivery to the player, going from point A to point B and giving critical moments to choose from what affected the ending. I played Armored Core 6 on the PS5. This game ran like a cool autumn breeze in October. The control work, the mechanics, everything about the way this game ran was fantastic. I honestly have no qualms about it. I had no graphical hiccups or issues with how the game ran. You know, I should probably critique something about this game, so one thing I did find kind of weird was the lock-on system. The lock-on feature is a bit spotty, but even then, it just depends on how you're playing the game, what bosses you're going up against, and how your build is prepped. The shooting and how the tracking located the enemy up to a certain point was precise, and 95% of the time, it would accurately get the target. Your health or AP depends on the gear you have on, not the person driving, since this game focuses on the mech, so getting armor with a higher AP stat is essential for survivability. This is why, depending on the boss you're fighting, you will need to change up your build. It's all about finding what works for you, the playstyle you have, and then adapting it for the boss you're fighting against. For the first time in a while, I don't have a critique that could be considered as a quote-unquote negative. I really loved my time with this game. I don't know. It was so strange. Going throughout, I was trying to see, well, what did I not like about this? What was there something that I could possibly bring into the mix that might, I don't know, give the developers or people who are viewing this game for the first time something to think on, but there was really nothing bad about this game. And look, the main thing with reviews are that it's going to be different. Reviews like these, like opinion pieces like these, are going to be different. They are going to be subjective. That's why it makes me kind of laugh when I see people on Twitter saying that you shouldn't have your own opinion in a review, when that's the nature of what an op-ed piece is to give your opinion and take on how the experience for you, keyword for you, how the experience for you went when playing the game. That's why you see so many different game reviews that come out that have varying opinions. It doesn't, there's no one set way to write a piece or a game review when it comes down to your personal preference and how you play a game. So for me personally, I didn't find anything wrong with the game, but someone else could find their own things that they found wrong with the game. So it just depends on what reviewer you are watching. I loved my time with this game. I loved the way it played, I loved the story, and I loved how certain mechs in the arena were named after influential historical figures, like Swinburne, who was an English poet, a playwright, a novelist, and a critic. And Sigmund Freud, who was a neurologist and founder of psychoanalysis. With endless builds and ways to take this game on, Armored Core 6 has nailed the replayability as well as the ability to replay missions after the game is done. Something I found really helpful was that after each important intermission, shall we say, the game allows you to heal up and restock your low ammo. Let's dive into some of the music and voice acting. The voice acting added this layer of immersion that I was not prepared for. The voice actors did such a good job of conveying the feeling of being in distress or overcome with fear, but also this unwavering bullheadedness. I feel attached to the characters and cared especially about Air, even though, depending on your perception, she could be the bad guy. The music and sound design of this game was top-notch. Each area and boss fight had something new for my ears to enjoy, and some parts of the score reminded me of games like Resident Evil and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It felt punchy, it felt cinematic and adventurous. So tell me, how far can you fly on borrowed wings? But that was it for my review of Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. If you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. May you find your worth in the waking world, dear hunter. Stay casually nerdy, and I will see you all in the next video. Umbasa.